Hey yo, great vibes on 10. True squad in the building, Mr. Clean, Candy Cane, Aloe Vera, Butter Pecan, Ronnie Webb, Danger Bun, and Loretta Von Lux. Everybody, everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Great vibes on 10. Everybody sing it loud. Great. Yeah. The van keeps rolling, got the team all set. Chasing down the facts on the internet. Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the eye. Sweet on the surface, but she call out a lie. Got receipts in the pocket, watch the stories all collide. Mr. Clean in the middle with the game plan tight. Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great vibes on 10, that's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. For the win, Candy Cane, Aloe Vera, Butter Pecan in the mix. Ronnie Webb,
Danger Bun,
and Loretta, dropping hits. Great vibes on 10. Yeah, we turning up the room. Scammers get nervous when they hear we're coming soon.
great vibes on 10.
For the win,
That's the slogan we defend. Truth over fiction and we're riding to the end.
Aloe Vera cool when the drama gets hot. Smooth like a breeze when the rumors get caught. Everybody panicking, everybody losing track. She brings the conversation right back to the facts. Butter Pecan steady, never rushing the case. Looking at the details, everybody misplaced. Quiet with the wisdom, always keeping the pace. Then she drops one question and it changes the whole race. Ronnie Webb riding through the storm with style. Got a sharp intuition and a confident smile. People tell stories, she can listen for a while. Then she finds the missing pieces hidden under every pile. Now Loretta Von Lux, now Loretta Von Lux. Walking in designer flair, gold hoops in her ears and highlights in her hair. Luxury coat swinging while she surveys the scene. Spot a fake story quicker than you ever seen. Tiny little diva, but her instincts are elite. She can sniff out contradictions from a mile down the street. Gucci on the shoulders, confidence on max, while she's quietly collecting every piece of every fact. She don't gotta shout, she don't gotta bark. One look from Loretta and she's already found the mark. When the scammers start sweating and the stories don't match, Loretta's already smiling cause she solved another catch. Lights flat,
Crowd jump,
music hitting hard.
truth hunters.
Fact checkers never dropping guard.
Everybody dancing while we're putting clues together. Searching through the nonsense no matter what the weather.
Danger bun. Hopping through the comments every day. Little bunny energy, but she's leading the way. Hashtag save the bunnies, yeah, you know what she'll say. Then she'll uncover 3 mysteries before the end of the day. Curly ears bouncing, got determination strong. When the trail gets complicated, she keeps moving along. People think it's funny till she proves the rumor wrong. Then the whole room singing to the Danger Bun song. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. Great. Yeah. The van keeps rolling, got the team all set. Chasing down the facts on the internet. Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the eye. Sweet on the surface, but she call out a lie. Got receipts in the pocket, watch the stories all collide. Mr. Clean in the middle with the game plan tight. Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great vibes on 10, that's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. For the win, Candy Cane, Aloe Vera, Butter Pecan in the mix. Ronnie Webb,
Danger Bun,
and Loretta, dropping hits. Great vibes on 10. Yeah, we turning up the room. Scammers get nervous when they hear we're coming soon.
great vibes on 10.
For the win,
That's the slogan we defend. Truth over fiction and we're riding to the end.
Aloe Vera cool when the drama gets hot. Smooth like a breeze when the rumors get caught. Everybody panicking, everybody losing track. She brings the conversation right back to the facts. Butter Pecan steady, never rushing the case. Looking at the details, everybody misplaced. Quiet with the wisdom, always keeping the pace. Then she drops one question and it changes the whole race. Ronnie Webb riding through the storm with style. Got a sharp intuition and a confident smile. People tell stories, she can listen for a while. Then she finds the missing pieces hidden under every pile. Now Loretta Von Lux, now Loretta Von Lux. Walking trying to flare. Gold hoops in her ears and highlights in her hair. Luxury coat swinging while she surveys the scene. Spot a fake story quicker than you ever seen. Tiny little diva, but her instincts are elite. She can sniff out contradictions from a mile down the street. Gucci on the shoulders, confidence on max, while she's quietly collecting every piece of every fact. She don't gotta shout, she don't gotta bark. One look from Loretta and she's already found the mark. When the scammers start sweating and the stories don't match, Loretta's already smiling cause she solved another catch. Lights flat,
Crowd jump,
music hitting hard.
truth hunters,
Fact checkers never dropping guard.
everybody dancing while we're putting clues together. Searching through the nonsense no matter what the weather.
Danger, 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 danger bun. Hopping through the comments every day. Little bunny energy, but she's leading the way. Hashtag save the bunnies, yeah, you know what she'll say. Then she'll uncover 3 mysteries before the end of the day. Curly ears bouncing, got determination strong. When the trail gets complicated, she keeps moving along. People think it's funny till she proves the rumor wrong. Then the whole room singing to the Danger Bun song. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. Mr. Clee holding center, keeping everything alive. Headed Kane and aloe vera, always searching what they'll find. Butter pecan, Ronnie Wet, Danger Bond on the run. Loretta Von Lux in designer shades, making fact, checking fun. Great vibes on 10.
True squad to the end. Searching through the fiction, letting real stories win.
Great vibes on 10.
For the win,
That's the slogan we defend.
truth over fiction, and we're riding to the end.
The van keeps rolling, the music keeps glowing, the truth keeps showing. True squad moving. Mr. Clean, Candy Cane, aloe vera, heart of pecan. Ronnie Wet, Danger Bond, Loretta Von Lux. Everybody singing loud. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, for the win, for the win. True squad in the house.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10.
Everybody, welcome in. This your boy, Great Vibes on 10 for the win. Good to see y'all on this afternoon. I hope y'all are staying cool. I hope that y'all got y'all ACs turned up and y'all staying hydrated because again, it's hot outside. YouTube, Rumble, TikTok, welcome in. Let's give a shout out to Letty, y'all. She's coming in, knocking the door down. She's knocking the door down with these DJ glasses. She took the title gifter on that. So I need everybody to give a shout out to Letty. Thank you so much for knocking out the title for the DJ glasses. Thank you so much for that. Again, everybody welcome in. Good to see y'all coming in. Y'all do not forget to share the live stream out to friends, family. It doesn't matter. Share it out. Share this out because we have I asked myself, what did I get myself into? And so I want to give a shout out to the moderators for just automatically understanding the assignment, and they immediately started to dig up some information. And again, I really appreciate y'all I really appreciate y'all for helping your boy out. So again, y'all welcome in. Chelsea, thank you for you're awesome, and also your daily heartmeat. I really appreciate it. I'm just listening for the kids, y'all. Hold on. So again, thank y'all so much. Now listen, y'all know this topic that we're covering. It's nothing easy about this topic. There's no lighter way to cover this topic. I know yesterday when we started to cover this topic, it triggered a lot of people. And I understand that because, we're talking about children in this situation. And with you know, as far as with the living conditions and the mindset of the kids, um, it's no easy way uh, to look at this, to cover this. It's very few platforms that's covering this particular story. But y'all do know one thing we do not play about is, you know, we play with the kids, because a lot of times these kids, they don't even ask to be here. And, you know, unfortunately, you know, every time we turn around, a child is involved in something crazy and just not good at all. We just covered the story with the young lady from out of Sanatobia, Mississippi, where she had her baby unalive by the police. And now we're dealing with this situation right here with, from my understanding, 16 children that was rescued from this family of four, the adults. So just to give y'all a heads up, on July 1st, 4 adults were arrested and charged with 16 felony counts of child endangerment in Hamden, Ohio, after authorities discovered 16 children living in a 12 by 12-foot room. The children ranging anywhere between 1.5 years old all the way up to the age of 18 years old. And most of their time was spent in that room. You know, allegedly it was just a wasted, contaminated space. And it was alleged that these kids that were living in this room, you had feces almost as high, you know, as a ruler, as a 12-inch ruler. So again, it's no easy way to cover this story. Now, with that being said, I'm finna give y'all a little background real quick before we get to this video. All right, so if you see at the top the photos, the top TikTok, and if you look over to the YouTube and Rumble, if you look over to my side, you're going to see these 4 individuals. You got the wife, the husband, the grandmother, and the granddad, the father, mother of the young man, and then you have his wife. Okay, so the core structure of this family, you got the grandparents. His name is the gentleman. His name is Gary Siders, Senior. He's 73 years old. And then you have Christina, which is his wife, Siders. She's 67 years old. Let's see. Then you got the children. Gary, that's the young man at the top, over to the right-hand side. He's 36 years old. And you have let's see, you have y'all excuse the noise in the background. And you have Elizabeth, which is his wife, at the top left hand corner. She's 33 years old. They got married March 31st, 2008. That's the younger couple at the top, in Mason County, West Virginia. And at the time, Elizabeth, the young lady at the top, she was only 15 years old. And Gary, he was presumed to be 19 years old. And they were able to make that marriage happen through parental judicial consent, the forms, right? It was obtained by the courts. So the parents signed off on their daughter at the age of 15 to get married to Gary at the age of 19 back in 2008, March 31st. All right. They both lived in Gallia County, Ohio, 2 houses apart at the time. Now you got Elizabeth's parents. which was their name is Brian Russell. You know what? I'm not even going to say their names because they're not part of this investigation. So we got the parents, so let's deal with the children. Are y'all following me? We got the parents at the top, the grandparents at the bottom. The two at the top got married when she was 15. He was 19 back in 2008, March 31st. And that's what we have so far. Y'all good? Cool. Let's move forward. All right, so now we got 16 children inside this home, along with these 4 adults. I don't want to read out the the names. Yeah, we're not going to read out their names. And it's some other information I'm going to read to you all later on in this broadcast because a lot of this stuff needs to be addressed. All right. All right, let's get to this video.
Most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
16 children hidden away in a rural Ohio home. A teenager who, according to investigators, couldn't even spell her own name. And a smell so bad, the Attorney General says he still can't shake it.
It was just a disgusting scene.
And now the adults who were supposed to be caring for these children are behind bars.
This is pure evil, what we saw down here.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. You know, just when you think that you've heard it all, another case comes to light that makes you do a double take. And this story out of Ohio, it's one of those cases. It involves 16 children who were living in conditions that were so filthy and so deplorable, according to the sheriff, that most animals live better. In fact, the children had been living in the small home for some time, and the sheriff said neighbors had no idea that children lived there. Imagine that. A home with 16 children living in it, and the neighbors had no clue. The county prosecutor says one of the kids is actually 18, an adult, but developmentally, she's a child. She couldn't even spell her own name. And some of the children were in such bad shape that they had to be flown by medical helicopter to a level 1 trauma center. Unbelievable. That's what deputies in Vinton County, Ohio, about 75 miles south of Columbus, found this week. Vinton is a rural county. Fewer than 13,000 people live there. Vinton County Sheriff said that deputies and state agents discovered the children on Tuesday, June 30th, while conducting another investigation. Here's Sheriff Ryan Kane.
All right, today on June 30th, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, along with the Ohio Bureau of Investigation, executed and is still continuing to investigate Omar Street in Hamden, Ohio. Upon searching the home, evidence of other crimes were discovered. It's currently an ongoing investigation, and my office is still processing the scene and conducting interviews. My message to the community is that there is no outstanding threat. These are serious crimes and allegations that will be investigated fully. Our mission is to protect our citizens and our children. The scene is horrific, and these are horrific allegations. We will do anything in our power to hold those accountable to justice. I want to thank Ohio BCI, the Ohio Attorney General's Office, for working with us in this incident, the Hamden Fire Department, Benton County EMS, Jackson County EMS, Jackson County Sheriff's Office, the Ohio Department of Watercraft and Parks, Ohio Wildlife, for assisting us today.
Base 44 Super Agent is the catalyst for my growth. It's going to take me to the next level.
So the children were discovered because a search warrant was being executed on the home on Omer Street related to another investigation, but the sheriff won't comment on what that investigation involves.
I want to stress
that our focus right now is on the safety of the children. These kids are being evaluated medically, and we're trying to get them placed, and that is our primary concern.
Now it's to believe, right? Now y'all correct me if I'm wrong. It's to believe that the police had a search. The husband, the 37-year-old of the 33-year-old wife, which is at the top of the picture. He had, if I'm not mistaken, he had a warrant out for his arrest. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so he had a warrant out for his arrest, and this is the reason why the deputies showed up to the house. And when they showed up to the house, it was a little bit more than what they expected. This right here wasn't your average go in, kick the door down, hey, put your hands up. You got a warrant out for your arrest. The moment they, walked inside of their home, the whole narrative changed. Now this is more than just an arrest warrant, okay?
Right at this point. I also want to stress this is not conduct that is acceptable in Vinton County. These individuals were not from Vinton County. This is not appropriate and certainly is not reflective of the Vinton County values.
The children were removed from the small house in the village of Hamden. They ranged in age from 1.5 to 18 years old. Ohio's Attorney General says some of the children were in really, really bad shape. Here's AG Andy Wilson.
Agents from Ohio BCI participated in the search warrant this morning with deputies from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office. And when they went into that residence, 16 children were removed from that residence. And I've been doing these types of cases for a long time. I spent a big portion of my career dedicated to prosecuting these types of cases. And I can tell you this is pure evil. What we saw down here today is pure evil. And I have to commend the deputies from the Vinton County Sheriff's Office and our agents from Ohio BCI and I, who went into really kind of one of the worst environments that I've seen in my career, and were there for those children in their time of need. Those children are currently being treated at hospitals throughout the state. And this is, as you heard, an ongoing investigation.
I'll get into more of what law enforcement says they found in the house shortly. 4 adults lived in that house, the parents of the children and the grandparents. The parents of some of the children are believed to be Elizabeth Siders and Gary Siders Jr. The grandparents are believed to be Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders. All 4 face 17 felony counts of child endangering. And more charges could be coming because this is just the beginning. The investigation is continuing. The sheriff says the house was beyond filthy.
I've seen livestock live. Yeah. Mostly kept better. As I was saying, most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
Now, when I heard this for the first time on yesterday, thank you, Laura, so much. When I heard this for the first time on yesterday, with the sheriff alleging that, their outdoor animals, livestock, lived in better conditions than what they have seen when they made entry inside of this home. I mean, I can't even wrap my mind around something as as hideous and as disgusting, as filthy as, just regular livestock outside, because we know how pigs live, and we know how hogs live, and, you got some pretty, different animals that live on the outside, that people use to breed, and also, they have on their farms, and they sell them off to, supply chains. With you saying that these animals outside have a better condition than what this house produced when your deputies walked on the inside, again, I have no words around it. I can't even imagine what something like that would look or smell like.
It was extremely high presence, I'm sure, of bacterial and human feces. It was just a disgusting scene.
Can I ask you both of you, what did you feel like walking through there? Not necessarily what it looked like or the description, but what was going through your mind?
So it was disgusting even where the kids weren't. I would think it's typical. Most law enforcement have experience with homes in a similar fashion. A large number of people, though, the children were kept in a roughly 12 by 12 area. It seems like it's where they've spent the most of the last 4 years, and that's what it looks like. In a weird way, you're hit with two emotions. There is joy when we realize that we're about to change 16 lives for the better. But you're also, it's hard.
So the kids, the sheriff says, were kept in a 12 by 12 room, and there was feces all over the place. The children were kept in absolute squalor. The attorney general says the children were essentially hidden.
I will tell you this, there isn't much evidence that kids live there. As we talked to some of the neighbors, we talked to some of the people from the neighborhood. These people have been here for about 4 years, and we've talked to some people who live in the neighborhood who said, I had no idea that kids were people. And talking about, somebody asked about, to describe the conditions, adding on to what the sheriff said. I didn't actually go into the room where the kids were. I just looked through the door. That was yesterday. I can still smell. I can't get the smell. I cannot get the smell off of me or away from me right now. We were just talking about that a little while ago. And then we were talking as a group about some of the evidence we looked at today where they actually discovered the kids and found the kids. And it's not that different than those old commercials you used to see of like kids in Africa, like just where they're covered in bugs and squatting and had that like distant look in their eyes. It's terrible. I mean, it is absolutely terrible. And again, we've got to make sure the kids are safe. We got to make sure they're placed in good, solid therapeutic placements. And we have to hold accountable the people who are willing to do this to their own family.
The 4 Siders family members appeared in Vinton County Court on those 17 child endangering charges. The AG says the family has moved around a lot. They've been in Gallia, Jackson, and Pike counties, and even Wisconsin at one point, but they've been in Vinton County for at least the last 4 years. Back in 2021, the Pike County Sheriff posted on Facebook about Gary Siders Jr. The sheriff said he was requesting warrants for Siders Jr. for felony theft and receiving stolen property because items stolen from a construction site had been recovered from the home where he lived. But the children haven't been to school. Law enforcement says there are no medical or school records for them, and they're still looking into all of that. So I could think of no one better to take a look at this case and analyze.
All right, so I have a question. Goddess, did you ask me a question? You said you asking, are you the guy from Love After Lockup? I never heard of Love After Lockup. No, that's not. No. You said it's a show? No. You know what? Forget y'all. You said you do favor Lamar. No, look, boy. Yeah, man. Look. Okay. Okay. All right. Y'all petty as hell. All right, y'all. Let's continue.
it for us. Then Mark Weaver, he works as a special prosecutor in the state of Ohio, sometimes sits as a judge, and he has worked cases down in the area where this happened. He's also the author of a new book entitled God Bless America, 250 Years Strong. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. But first, Mark, your reaction to this case. I'm shocked by it. Every time I think I can't be shocked, I'm shocked because I can't imagine 16 children ranging in age from 1.5 to 18 living in a house and nobody knows.
Yeah, you're right. I have prosecuted cases, not in that county, but in counties surrounding that. This is southern Ohio. This is Appalachia. That doesn't excuse anything. It's just explanatory. Families with that many children in Appalachia is already pretty unusual. You don't see families with 7, 8, 9, 10 or more children typically in Appalachia. And then if you do, you certainly wouldn't see them confined in such a small room or such a small house. This is one of the smallest counties in Ohio, Vinton County, one of the poorest counties in Ohio. It came as no surprise to me that the Vinton County prosecutor is partnering with the Ohio Attorney General office where I used to work as the Deputy Attorney General, because there's many more resources available, both through the state's Bureau of Criminal Investigation, which is the premier unit of investigators in the state, and through the Special Prosecution Section of the Attorney General's office. So normally a small town prosecutor's office like Vinton would have 3 or 4 prosecutors who do felony cases at most. So they're going to need the help of the Attorney General's office to bring this significant case with lots of evidence and lots of troubling details.
Let's break this down a little bit because it's beyond troubling. The entire reason that they discovered this, the children, and the Attorney General, Andy Wilson, described this as something like out of a third world country. He described it like those old commercials you'd see, and sometimes you still see them, where you had the starving children in Africa, and you've got the kids with, and you've got these poor starving children, and their eyes, they're staring kind of into the camera, and the flies are flying around, that kind of thing. The sheriff said they walk in, there's a 12 by 12 room, and there's feces, and it sounds, just beyond disgusting what they described. But they were doing a search warrant on another investigation. They were investigating another.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car. Okay, you ready? All right, $118 for car insurance. That's how much I was paying.
Africa.
Okay, I picked up
another crime, and they won't say what it was. And they go in and they find a 12 by 12 room, they say, with kids, and one of them they say is near death.
Yes. I was talking to Attorney General Wilson last week on another matter. I had no idea this would come up, but I'm glad he's there. Andy Wilson is an experienced prosecutor, and he's been appointed as our Attorney General in the interim because the one who was elected resigned to take another job. So he's our short-term Attorney General, but he really is well-suited to handle this case, and I'm glad that he showed it such a high priority. We do need to know more facts. I expect the defense lawyers for these people who've been charged will ask for a bill of particulars, which is a more detailed description of the crimes being alleged. I've read the indictments. They're rather pro forma, meaning they're simply saying the required elements of the statute, child endangerment, which is a second-degree felony in this case. So we're not getting a lot of insight from the records that have been released so far.
Yeah, we're getting nothing. We're getting nothing except it's literally like the bare bones complaint that they gave us. We have no info other than what they've told us. And I think part of that is because they were caught by surprise when they went in there. They're looking for X, and they find A through L or whatever.
Yeah.
They find 16 kids when they go in there, and they're looking for whatever else they were looking for in the first place. And they find feces, a floor falling apart, 16 kids, 1 or 2 of them in really bad shape. Now they have to find homes for these 16 kids. And the big question is, Mark, who's the mother of some of these children? The 18-year-old, they said couldn't even spell her name, hadn't been to been to school, and they said that this 18-year-old, this is so sad. It's so stunning to me. I'm highly doubting that Elizabeth Siders is the mother of this 18-year-old, since she's, I think, 33. And there's no way she had 16 children in that time span. We were just talking about that before we came on here. So where did this child come from? And they're calling her a child. They're charging child endangering because they said basically she can't even spell her name. So basically she's 18, but she developmentally is a child.
Sure. And certainly she was endangered or abused at age 14, 15, 16, 17, all of which would be within the statute of limitations for a crime like this. Prosecutors are going to have to talk to these kids. It's unclear which ones can give a coherent account of who did what or who didn't provide food or the basic sustenance that every parent or guardian is required to provide a child. So a couple things are going to happen during this investigation. They're probably happening right now. Number one, every one of these kids, once their medical needs are attended to, is going to be interviewed to get as much information as they can about this level of abuse or neglect. And then once the prosecutors identify the least culpable, the least responsible adult who's charged, they will work to flip that person to testify against the other ones. So the person with the least culpability will get the shortest amount of prison time, and they will use that testimony to convict the other people.
And we don't know who that is at this point in time.
No,
but what
there's no way of knowing, and the kids are going to be the key to this, but once again, we don't have insight into how verbal they are or how aware they are. Severe malnutrition affects not just your body, but also your brain and your memory. And so I'm sure defense lawyers will be interested in eventually cross-examining these kids to show that perhaps they don't remember things well. So it's a bit of a challenge with respect to who the witnesses will be to say what did or didn't happen. Having said that, there's a civil Latin phrase in the law called res ipsa loquitur. The thing speaks for itself. You don't need a lot of evidence to show that kids in your care who are this poorly treated or whose conditions are so bad is the responsibility of the adults in the house.
What I want to break down here a little bit, and this is just me from, a high up looking down kind of view, but there's a report out there that Elizabeth Siders, the wife of Gary Jr., that she used to go to this baby pantry, where if you are a person in need and can't afford stuff, you go there and you can get diapers and formula and stuff like that. And that she would come in and she was kind of like, she would come in once a week. You were allowed to come in once a week, but that she would sometimes try to come more than once a week. And that Gary Jr., this is what the report says, that he would wait out in the car or the truck or whatever, and she'd come in and she seemed kind of anxious and stuff like that. And she'd come in and get what she needed and then she'd leave. So Elizabeth is the newest member of this family, the Siders family. The grandparents, Christina and Gary Sr., they are obviously the matriarch and patriarch of this family. Gary Jr. is their child. So they've been together the longest. And then somehow at some point, Elizabeth is brought into the fray. And so I think we're left to deduce that these children are somehow like a part of the initial threesome of Gary Sr., Gary Jr., and Christina, the older children. And we have Elizabeth coming into this. And then there's another report talking about how Elizabeth's mother has been posting on Facebook, like, I can't wait to see my daughter again. Happy birthday. Like, I hope to see her again soon and stuff like that. And there's a picture of her that we need to verify, but she had blonde hair. Now she's got this dark black hair. So is it possible that she is somewhat of a victim in all of this too?
Could be. Could be. I want to give viewers a context around this region. It's a poor area, but there is plenty of social safety net for families to eat and take care of their children. There are welfare benefits, there are SNAP, there are local churches that have food pantries. There are a lot of good Christian and hardworking people in those counties who will help other people in need. So this is not like we saw in the 1960s when President LBJ started his war against poverty in Appalachia because there were simply no resources. There are resources there. Having said that, there's also an opioid scourge that continues. There's a methamphetamine scourge that continues. So many of the cases I've prosecuted or worked on in Appalachia touch against drug addiction and generational drug addiction. I would not be surprised if we learn that some of the parents of these children are no longer parenting or on the scene because of drug addiction.
And that's something interesting that you bring up too. I noticed some redness around the eyes and the mug shots and stuff like that. I wonder if we will learn that drug abuse, addiction is a part of this story, that we're just talking here. We don't know that for certain, but it could be a piece of this puzzle. And you're right. There are programs out there. These people could have easily registered for welfare benefits, SNAP benefits. All of those things could have been done to get nourishment, good food for these children so that they could be fed and housed more properly. 16 kids, you've got some explaining to do, though. If you've got 16 kids, you got some explaining to do to the government about why you got 16 kids. So one thing I find interesting about this too, Mark, so sad but interesting, is the fact that, I mean, you're keeping these kids apparently indoors.
Again, y'all, thank y'all so much for being here. Everybody do me a favor. Y'all just make sure y'all share the live stream out to your stories. TikTok, if you see a follow button at the top of your screen, please click that follow button. And also, y'all help your boy out, Great Vibes, with the gift gallery. Click on my name at the top where it says Great Vibes on 10, and you're going to see the gift gallery. Y'all, let's go ahead and get that knocked out. Also, if you haven't given your daily heart meat, Heidi Orchard, thank you so much for your heart meat. Y'all, let's make sure we give those heart meats. And YouTube, if y'all can, y'all please share the live stream out. Also on Rumble. And also, y'all, let's be a little bit more active in the chat on YouTube and Rumble, so they can push those platforms out. Thank y'all so much for being here. Again, y'all, I know this is heavy, but just hang in there. Because, again, we got a lot to cover, all right? A lot to cover.
Doors, I guess, for 4 years. This is it's not like a subdivision where you've got kids running around on bikes and stuff like that. It's by a railroad track and, there's some brush and stuff like that. But there are neighbors. But the neighbors didn't see the kids. Like, I don't even understand how that's possible. Like, as you said,
Hey, if money is tight right now and you need some help to pay some bills, maybe your car payment, late rent, groceries to put on the table so you and your family can eat, I'm serious.
Kids are going to be the key.
Yeah, keeping children indoors in itself for long periods of time is neglect and endangerment, because we all know children need fresh air, they need vitamin D, they also need to go to school.
Yes.
Whether it's the public school or the local Christian or charter school, or even homeschooled by an appropriate parent or adult who's willing to take on that responsibility. But every adult in that house, once they've allowed children in, has now a legal obligation to look out for the interests of that child. The law is not that only parents are responsible for children, but any functioning adult who's the head of the household, you mentioned the matriarch and the patriarch, or a responsible adult who's looking out for children, you're bringing onto yourself a higher obligation that a stranger would not have to look out for the welfare of these children. And these charges that are currently being brought, I wouldn't be surprised if these charges get amended and added to, are all second-degree felonies, each one of which could serve 8 to 12 years in prison, potentially consecutively. So these adults, whatever their relationship are to these children, are criminally liable for what happens to these children. And these are very serious crimes and could result in decades and decades in prison.
And that was going to be my next question to you. I'm glad you brought that up about whether you believe more charges will be added, because this is just an initial complaint, an initial document that they filed basically after they find these kids in this house. It's horrific. I went to summer camp in Benton County back when I was like a kid. Like, I don't remember how old I was, but I went to
It's a
summer
beautiful
camp
area.
there.
I bet you had a great time. It
yeah,
really is beautiful country there.
yeah, it's very beautiful, very beautiful. But as you mentioned, yeah, very poor. It's the least populous state, or county rather, in the state of Ohio. And so, but there still are resources. There are resources to help people down there. So, Mark, you have a new book out. Talk to me about God Bless America.
250 years strong. It's a children's book about America's birthday. We all know it's coming up, and I anticipated that. So I wrote a book for ages 5 to 11. It's wonderfully illustrated by Dan McKenzie. I can't take responsibility for the wonderful image, but I did write it. And it tells America's story, including some of the legal stories that you and I talk about on Law and Crime, and walks children through each of the moments of the high parts of American history, reminding them how special our country is. And so it's been selling very well on Amazon. We've been very pleased. It's called God Bless America, 250 Years Strong.
Well, people should check it out. America's birthday is here. Its 250th birthday, and the kids need to know all about the history of our country. So, Mark Weaver, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. We will keep a close eye on this case because it's horrific, and those kids deserve justice. And I hope now they're being well taken care of.
Yeah, thanks for bringing this to light. Good talking to you, Jeanette.
Now, the Forsiders family members are being held in jail. A judge set their bail at $300,000 each, and more charges could be coming. So we'll keep a close eye on this case and let you know what happens. That's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.
He's got pain and places to be. Help is on the way. Motrin targets pain at the source of inflammation.
Get ready for the hottest competition of the summer. Love Island 20.
All right, y'all. Y'all sorry about that. Hold on one second.
These 4 people were charged with 17 counts of child endangerment.
And right now, I'm just getting y'all
The Benton
kind of
County
caught up.
Sheriff
That's all I'm doing.
described the conditions inside the home as horrific.
It was mind blown once I saw the mugshot. Like, oh, I spoke it to them. I just seen them on Monday.
Y'all just keep tapping the screen and getting those lights up. I'm just catching everybody
it's
up.
sad. It's crazy. It's a sad situation.
Employees at the Hamden Dollar General say the Siders were regular customers, stopping in almost every night just before closing, buying water, vegetable oil, and sometimes sugar, often accompanied by just one of the children.
Oh, I noticed that he would keep her really close to her, and she was not allowed to speak to nobody. I noticed that. And when she came in with the kids were all very thin, very, very thin, ghost white, didn't have no weight on their body, and they had their hair over their face, like to block out the outside world to not see them.
Ariel Gutierrez says store employees tried to help, offering the family clothes and hygiene products. But she says they never saw those items put to use. Investigators have described the conditions inside the home as unforgettable. The Ohio Attorney General saying the smell inside the home is something he can't forget. Gutierrez says that same odor was noticeable every time the family walked into the store.
The smell to me, honestly, when I think about them and hear them, the smell will never leave my mind. I will always have that smell in my mind, sad to say, just because it was so potent. Like, they could have left the store 5 minutes ago and the store would still smell.
Now she says her focus is on the children, hoping they finally have the chance at a better life.
Just sorry to the children, and I'm sorry that I should have said something sooner, and I'm praying, and I know they're in better conditions now, and hopefully they get what they deserve.
As the community continues to process what happened, many say they're praying for the children and hoping Hamden can begin to heal.
Got to go and make sure, and we got to trust that God has.
Investigators say that those children are now at hospitals across the state of Ohio, and that this investigation is still ongoing.
I've heard there were a lot of animals in the home as well, so I can just imagine what the kids lived in.
It all follows a horrible find at this small home. 16 children living in terrible conditions.
I come up down there all the time. I never seen.
Shout outs to B. Jenny for the flying jets, y'all. Thank you so much, B. Jenny, for the flying jets. That's what I'm talking about.
Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the...
Everybody give a shout out to B. Jenny. Thank you so much, B. Jenny. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you, B. Jenny. Thank you.
Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great vibes on 10. That's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it.
Man, shout out to you, B. Jenny. Thank you so much for the flying jets and also the Galaxy.
Kid out here.
Neighbors coming down Omer Street to see this house for themselves, and they're asking the simple question, how was this able to happen?
Shout outs to Jennifer on YouTube. Thank you so much for the floating hearts. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Shout out to you, Jennifer, for the floating hearts. That's what I'm talking about. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Or did they know the kids were there? I mean, that's just where it kind of bothers me. If they knew the kids were there, they should have been told, I think.
Shout outs to you, BG. Thank you so much for the gold mine.
Live here say they're still struggling to make sense of what happened just down the street.
But it's not, I mean, it's not Vinton County per se. It's just where they chose to bring their chaos, because I was told that they weren't from here.
Absolutely. I mean, I was born and raised in Columbus, and this here, for down here, is very sad and shocking, because you wouldn't expect to hear it in a village of 200.
We're not used to seeing here in America. It really looked third world.
Most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children.
This is not the time for you to argue your case. Count 5, count 7, count 12, count 17. Each of those felonies are the second degree.
The children were kept in a roughly 12 by 12 area. It seems like is where they've spent the most of the last 4 years.
This is how easy it is to buy shares of properties on RealBricks. You can scroll down to a property that you're interested in.
Pure evil. Those were the words used to describe what was happening behind closed doors at a home in Vinton County.
4 suspects are facing serious charges now after 16 children were discovered in what authorities call a house of horrors. Sheriff's deputies searched that home on Tuesday, finding kids covered in feces, urine, and filth, held in a 12 by 12 room for 4 years. Detectives say some of them were so ill they were close to dying.
We have team coverage of this unprecedented investigation rattling a small town and beyond tonight. Chief Investigator Lisa Rontola is digging into how the family kept these children hidden there for years. First, we begin with Annabelle Kinney, who talked with neighbors living doors down from this horrific scene.
This is the home where the 16 children were being kept. Neighbors that live just across the street say if they would have known what was happening, they would have jumped in to help.
It's disgusting, and I didn't sleep a whole lot last night, and I prayed a whole lot that that all them kids get better.
It looked like something out of a third world country. That's how Ohio Attorney General Andy Wilson described the conditions inside the home where investigators say 16 children were being kept.
Just almost beyond comprehension that this stuff can happen in our country, and that it can happen in a house at the hands of people who are in charge of taking care of kids.
Wilson says 7 of the kids were sent to Columbus area hospitals on Tuesday. Josh Odell says he can see the backyard of the home where police say the kids were being kept and hidden.
We have a little girl ourselves, so it immediately alarmed me like there's some very bad people that was just right there.
He says in his 5 years of living there, he's never seen any children and wants more answers.
Did they give birth at the hospital to all these kids? Where's those records? And something that struck me is that these people are not from around here.
Officials say the children were not enrolled in school. The Vinton County Sheriff says due to the children being isolated and some children being developmentally disabled, it has impacted the investigation.
It's one of the investigative challenges we have to face is that they are limited. They can't communicate.
Joseph Stewart is another neighbor that lives next door. He says he's seen the 4 people charged going to Dollar General every once in a while, but never any kids.
Kind of ashamed that they did stuff like that, and after I seen the pictures of their mugshot today, and they look pretty rough.
Odell says the guilt of not knowing is taking a toll on him.
I really hope they all get better. But I mean, it obviously is weight on my conscience that I wished I could have done something.
Now,
you know, that's crazy work. As I sit here and think about it, you know, you have all of these individuals staying in this remote area, out in this small town in Ohio. You know, neighbors, you know, here and there. And again, these people that's in the area, they never knew it was, 16 children staying in this small home, living in these conditions. And then on top of that, when they do go outside, they are forced to, especially the girls, are forced to wear their hair over their eyes so they won't see too much of the outside world. And then you talking about the bodies and the odor coming from their bodies is just, it's hard to describe. I know yesterday when we first covered this story, I had people on the panel and some were saying, hey, GV, I'm just not finna get in folks' business because, again, this is 2026. And again, I do agree with that to a certain extent. But again, a lot of times a child will give us a telltale sign when things are not correct and when abuse are being shown at the house through the child. All right. But again, I respect people's wishes. I respect how they move. Because again, some people just don't want to get involved because when shit do hits the fan, yes, you will be getting called in for questioning, as what you've seen and how long, and some people just don't want to be part of that. But sadly here, you got 16 children, 18 or 1.5 years old as being the youngest. And you got the mother and father and grandparents staying here all at the same, under the same roof. And they got these children living in these conditions all in one room stacked on top of one another. Can you imagine not being able to go to the bathroom? You have to, go on yourself or go in the room. And, I'm talking about, just, you don't have any room to even move around. 4 years of this.
Investigators say the suspects are the kids' grandmother, grandfather, and
Ms. M, that's a good question. You're asking where the utilities are on at the home. I don't know. I cannot safely answer that question.
Father and mother, and that they could have been living in a 12 by 12 room for years. Reporting live in Vinton County, Annabelle Kinney, ABC 6 News.
Annabelle, thank you very much. Investigators say that Vinton County home first hit their radar out of a separate investigation. And that's why they say they executed their first search warrant and then they found those abused kids.
ABC 6 on your side. Chief Investigator Lisa Rontola spent the afternoon at the courthouse tracking down those search warrants.
Jessica, Mike, this afternoon I spoke with 2 judges, 1 clerk, who tell me here at the courthouse this afternoon, one county judge did tell me he did sign 1 search warrant for that home, which is sealed tonight. A probate judge confirmed he signed a 2nd search warrant, also sealed. Now, a common pleas court judge has the case of a mother, father, grandmother, and grandfather who could face more than 100 years behind bars. Gary Siders Jr. and Sr. facing 17 counts. Elizabeth Siders and mom Christina facing 16.
These are serious allegations, and if you are unsure on what to do, I will enter a not guilty plea for you until you can consult with counsel.
Prosecutors describe the 4 as mother, grandmother, grandfather, and father, and accuse them of abusing more than a dozen children from 1-year-old to 18 years old. The first victim, it shows that they are 18 years old. Why is that a child endangerment charge?
Good question. The young person's mental capacity, she is, we believe, developmentally disabled.
And also, again, you got to look at the totality of the situation, because this started well before she was 18. And, you know, as we learned as of yesterday, and I'm just reading up on some stuff over here, you know, this young lady, she wasn't able to comprehend as your normal 18-year-old young lady. You're talking about the mindset of a damn that just a small juvenile. So again, man, y'all,
Tell me the 18-year-old could not spell her own name. The others were also not enrolled in school. Did these children know how to read and write?
Yeah, again, we're working through that right now. Some of these children couldn't even speak.
Investigators say the family kept children hidden for years, avoiding being part of any medical or government records since 2008. How were you able to acquire the dates of birth? Were you able to get hospital records, or were some of these children born inside that home?
There's no evidence that any of the children were born inside that home, although that is something that they were initially investigating.
We have got to the point where literally anybody.
All right, well, let's do the math here. If you got the youngest 1.5 years old and you don't have no records of your children dated back to 2008, if I'm not mistaken, 2008, let's just be on the safe side, 2010. Here, let's go to 2015. The last time I checked, when a mother delivers a child in the hospital, you get a certificate for pushing the child out. You get a Social Security card for pushing the child out. So if you don't have anything, any type of paperwork on any of these children, where do you think the mother had these children, or allegedly had at least 1 or 2 of these children? And again, there's nothing wrong with a home birth. Just make sure you get the proper paperwork that goes behind it. But again, these conditions here is absolutely no excuse for this. Now, yesterday, a few of you all in the chat brought up, well, maybe she, the wife, the 33-year-old, I think her name is Elizabeth, she could not go out to ask for help or get help because of this Stockholm syndrome. And y'all, we're still looking into that, as far as her background, her history, and different things like that. Because what we do know, allegedly, that at the age of 13, if I'm not mistaken, y'all, she ran from home. 13, 14, 15, something like that. I need to narrow that down. Either she ran from home or something like that. And she got married at the age of 15. To her now husband when he was 19 at the time. Okay. And yes, the parents did sign off on it. So again, okay, so she got pregnant at 13, got married at 15, to her now husband. And again, I know a lot of people, they are disgusted by it. At the end of the day, their parents allowed it. we may find it disgusting. They parents didn't. Okay. Again, look at what Elvis did. I'm just saying Elvis Presley did the same thing. But you got, millions of people a year still go out there to Graceland to visit his mansion and also the surrounding areas. Elvis Presley, allegedly did the same thing.
Can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
And investigators said today they are looking into more charges. Part of that investigation, they're trying to determine if any of these children, any of the victims, were sexually assaulted. As for that parallel investigation, investigators say that started about 4 to 6 weeks ago. But as of tonight, we have not found any other charges against these 4 victims other than child endangerment.
Now, let me ask y'all a question. Due to the, if you look at the totality of this situation that we know about so far, this, maybe the ninth time I heard about these. Maybe it was a, sexual things going on inside of this home. Possible, to the children. Now, I want people to, y'all be careful throwing that word out, especially towards the kids. And I know people's minds like to go left and right and up and down and, discover the, the unthinkable sometime, and it just comes out of your mouth. And now you're on social media with this narrative that you don't have any proof behind. So until, these police officers and these detectives and also the people that's assigned to this case, let them do their, their research and their the proper background check, and also, a thorough investigation, because we definitely don't want to throw that out there at all. Because if that comes out,
Reporting live in Vinton County, I'm Chief Investigator Lisa Rontola.
Lisa, thank you very much. There are still so many questions about all of this tonight. We are trying to get answers about all these things. We have requested any 911 calls that led to this investigation, any previous law enforcement runs to that home, and any prior involvement with Children's Services.
The age range of the kids, there's a lot of specific hurdles involved in this crime. We will get you that information as soon as we can. We just want to let you know that, also to touch back on that, the community is safe. They're just as safe as the day before you learned that this had happened. And we're still working on it, and we're going to do the best we can to make sure you guys are informed. So, thank you.
Okay, I'm Andy Wilson, Ohio's Attorney General. I want to open up by saying, like I did yesterday, like I do every time I talk about a criminal case that's just been charged, that under our American criminal justice system, everybody who is charged is cloaked in the presumption of innocent, and they remain innocent unless and until they are taken into court and proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. That being said, I'm coming to this press conference directly from the Sheriff's Office, where I had the opportunity again to sit down with Sheriff's Office detectives and with some of our BCI agents, and I was briefed, updated on the status of the investigation and the case, and I actually had the opportunity today to look at some of the evidence of the case. I was out at the scene with our agents and the detectives yesterday, so I saw the location, I saw the condition that it was in. Some of the evidence, yesterday when I saw the location, the kids were already gone. They were being treated at the hospital. The evidence I got to see today was some evidence where the initial discovery of the children was captured or documented. And again, I've done these types of cases for a long time, and I've been in
Now, Emma, you said, you need to remind us that the mother was 13 when they took her and groomed her. Now, remember, the only way we can safely say that she was groomed at the age of 13, and now we got to ask who is they, because we don't know if her parents were involved, also with this. We don't know if, just his parents were involved. We don't know, but what we do know, allegedly she was pregnant at the age of 13. So when it say grooming, when y'all say grooming, we got to be careful, because we don't know the full details on what happened to her at the age of 13, besides allegedly being pregnant. We don't know how she got to that point. We don't know the company she kept. We don't know, again, if her parents were bringing her around strangers or, introducing her to people. We don't know. So again, let's be careful on information we put out. We do not want to create narratives, because when we create those narratives, people will take that, put on the internet. Now we got misinformation. Y'all got to understand this right here. This is a very delicate situation that we're dealing with here. It's a lot of people that's involved. It's a lot of moving hands and moving bodies with this case, because again, this case is just getting started. Gray Day Bay, hey, that's a good question too. How do we even know all these children are the husband and wife? And I was thinking the same thing. Could they be? Absolutely. Could they not be? Absolutely. But again, this is where different, tests and stuff come in. And I just want to make sure that we have the right information. That's it. Okay? That's it. All right? Yes, they are. I think according to I think this is the Attorney General that's speaking, if I'm not mistaken. I think that is a true statement. You said her sister-in-law said they were all her children. Okay. Yeah, it's 16 kids. Yeah, the news that they got their numbers off. But again, it's all of this is still fresh. Okay, even people that stay in the area, that came up on the panel on yesterday, they were giving us information. But right now, it's an open investigation. It's a lot of turning parts here, and y'all got to understand, these children, they can't even speak. Some of them don't know how to speak. Some of them don't know how to talk. They don't know how to look up. They don't know how to color. They don't know how to do anything. So these investigators, they are up for a challenge, because you can't make a child do anything that was never introduced to them. The only thing they have seen is just a 12 by 12 room, looking at each other, entertaining one another. And when they went outside, they couldn't even look at the outside. They were covered with their own hair. That's right, Kiki. And we're going to leave all the kids, including the 18-year-old, because she's not mentally grown. We're going to leave everybody as John and Jane Doe. She had 21 children, five of them passed away. And I think I heard that on yesterday. Y'all, you're pregnant every single year. Every year you're so y'all said that the sister-in-law alleged that all of these children are hers, which would make her the mother and him the father, the biological father. Again, y'all, let's wait until those reports come out so I can comfortably say, okay, these were all of their children. Then I'll know how to set up the platform around those two. Not the grandmother and grandfather. The mother and the father. The husband and the wife. Nikki said he's not the father of the 18-year-old. Can do all right, okay. Do we how do we know that? Nikki. Y'all see what I'm saying? You said Elizabeth brother said it on a live. And I'm okay. Again, I'm not, disclaiming or disproving anything he said on the internet, because yesterday, thank y'all. Y'all are some very smart individuals. Y'all said that this man is running from the law. He got warrants out for his arrest. So he's on the internet on people's panels doing interviews. You got warrants out for your arrest. So that's a good question. If he knows if he knows so much, how come? Well, he can't get in contact with the police because they looking for him. Let's continue.
Incredibly poverty.
You say he has a child abuse charge, Laura. I guess this is the brother of Elizabeth. What is the brother's name? Laura, I'm looking at some information you sent me. What is the brother's name? Okay, Diane said he just got released from prison. Joey Russell is his name. All right, so let's pull up Joey. Okay, all right. Okay, I see it here. Oh my goodness. So it looks like these people have a past with law enforcement dealing with their children. I mean, it's not anything serious with these traffic stops. Well, it can be serious when you're talking about a child seat, a car seat. Okay, here it is. So her brother, okay, hold on. Okay, so her brother is 30 years old. So we're talking about the younger brother, right? Joey Russell, that's the 30-year-old. Y'all, we doing this shit together, okay? Because it's a lot that's going to come out about this case. And I want to make sure we put out the same so the correct information. So her brother is younger than her. He's 30 years old, and he was sentenced in Gallia County. I think to a maximum of 36 months in prison. That's 3 years for endangering children. Felony of the 3rd degree resulting in physical harm to a child. He has been convicted earlier. He served time at the Ross Correctional Institute around April 2018. So allegedly, it looks like that this family they have a problem with children, with abusing children. So these are Elizabeth kids, her and her husband kids, and her brother, the 30-year-old that's younger than her, just got out of jail for endangering children, serving 36 months in prison. You said, my question is, why didn't she get her tubes tied in the hospital? The husband didn't have to know. Well, when you're married in certain states, the woman cannot get her tubes tied without the consent of her husband. And that's something you just don't do. Again, in some states, you cannot, your wife cannot get her tubes tied without the consent of her husband. You said in Georgia, I needed the consent of my husband. Yeah, that's correct. You said in Mississippi you can? Okay. So are we clear so far about Elizabeth's youngest brother, which was, thank y'all so much, which was, what was his name, y'all? Joy Russell. In Ohio, you need consent of husband. Okay, I figured that.
Stricken areas in the inner city. I've been in poverty-stricken areas in rural Ohio, and I've just never seen anything like I saw today with respect to those kids. As we sat and we talked about it, as the team kind of talked about it.
You know, dude, you crazy. Hulk 79, you crazy. How you doing, Queen Momo?
It really looked third world. It's the type of thing that we're not used to seeing here in America, where our children are really our most precious resource, and we have an obligation as parents, guardians, and custodians to love our kids, to care for our kids, to ensure that they are safe, that they are well fed, that they have safe conditions to live in. That's what we expect here in America. And again, what I saw today, the evidence, what I've seen up to this point in this case is just almost beyond comprehension that this stuff can happen in our country, and that it can happen in a house at the hands of people who are in charge of taking care of kids. In looking at the evidence, I can tell you without hesitation that a lot of credit has to go to local law enforcement, to Ohio BCI. I have the superintendent of BCI, Bruce Pijanowski, with me here today, and I have the on-scene supervisor, Jim Mulford, who really, it was his team that put this case together and worked with local sheriffs, deputies, and sheriff detectives in putting this investigation together, and they took it to the prosecutor's office to get the warrant, or at least have the warrant approved. And the reason I say that is because, again, a lot of credit goes to the men and women of this investigative team, because I'm telling you, in what I've seen up to this point, I think if they would have waited another 24 hours, there was a very high probability that we'd be dealing with a death or multiple deaths of these children. I'm not going to go specifically into the medical conditions of the kids, other to say that is, since the discovery of this situation, as you heard the prosecutor say yesterday, our number one concern has been the physical well-being of those children.
And again, I absolutely agree with him on this, simply because, again, our children, they don't ask to be here. Us as parents, the moment we lay down, we know there's a huge possibility that somebody's going to get pregnant, whether you try to or not. Now, this young lady right here, Elizabeth, her and her husband, allegedly, if these are their children, all of them, you're laying, it's like the moment she pushed a baby out, she's impregnated with another one. And so my question is, when did he have time? When did she have time to even to herself? Even their living conditions, because now y'all listen to this. They've been living at this house for 4 years, okay? All these kids confined to one room. Before that 4 years, prior to that, who were they staying with? Anybody know? And we're talking about the mother and father, the husband and wife, Elizabeth and her husband. Who were they staying with? Where were they staying? And what was the condition of this family enclosure? You said another location, another state. Now I do know they move around a lot. They did live in West Virginia for a while. That is correct. So now, question number 2. Why did they move around so much? Because y'all got to remember, how we get to this point. Who did this start with? Was it her parents or was it his parents? Who introduced who to who? Did he didn't meet her at no damn school, because at that time, while he was in high school, 19, 18, senior year, she got pregnant at 13. Her ass was barely in middle school. So how did they meet? So, okay, Mark said they lived next to each other. They were neighbors. Okay, question number 2. Where were their parents? Y'all see where I'm going with this? How did we allow a 13-year-old little girl to be introduced to a grown-ass man, they turn around, lay down, and have a child? Two years later, they get married. Her parents signed off on it. How we get there? What was going on so troubling inside of their home where she had I got questions. Because I know people are alleging that she may be a victim. I'm not going to discount that. I'm not going to say that she wasn't. But we don't have enough evidence or enough proof to say she was a victim. Don't nobody know that yet. The only people that will know the answer to that question is the people that were close to them. Now, us on the outside looking in, we don't know yet. Audrey said she was a victim. She was only 13. Again, we don't know that yet. We don't know, because she was underage. Her parents signed off to make sure she got married at the age of 15. Was she really a victim? We don't know. Yeah. GNAC said, according to her lawyer, she didn't consider herself as a victim. Even when the detectives were questioning her, she made sure that they did not put her down as a victim. She's a suspect. That's why she's behind bars in a holding cell. So again, was she really a victim? Because we feel a certain type of way, that feelings doesn't, make it evidence that our feelings are true, to make it factual. Now listen. Hold on, let me post this here. Listen, I understand this. And listen, y'all, Woosah, I need everybody to Woosah. Because again, this is heavy for a lot of people. Woosah for a second. And let's think about this. Okay? Everybody don't think like you. Everybody don't think like me. Now again, I know women have more sympathy for other women. I promise you I understand that. But we cannot go off the what ifs, especially dealing with something this deep. The what ifs doesn't matter because children were affected. You got children that were allegedly airlifted to hospitals so they can seek the right treatment because they was on the verge of dying or being unalived. Do y'all remember when I covered Cassie and Diddy? People were going out saying, you know what? Yes, Cassie Ventura, she was the victim because clearly we watched the video where Diddy committed a crime, right? A heinous crime where he dragged this young lady across the elevator lobby area, kicked her in her back, drug her by her hair. We saw all of that. And people were saying, yes, she's a victim of Diddy. She's a victim. I mean, look at the video. But as we dug more and more into the story, we had to flip the narrative. Come to find out that Cassie was really not a victim. Now, of that domestic violence, yes. But the situation as an entirety, absolutely not. But it took us months to get to that point. So again, y'all, let's be careful when we say this, all right? And again, I understand. I promise you I understand, y'all. Because again, it's nothing good around this. She could be a victim. We don't know.
Several of the children were, all of the children were examined and treated. Several of the children, I believe 7 of them, were taken to Columbus hospitals. And as I told you yesterday, I think at least 2 of them were care flighted. Those children, again, continue. We continue to treat and make sure that they are okay. Their physical well-being is our number one concern. But we also have to be concerned with their mental and emotional well-being as well. And I can tell you, on behalf of the investigative team, on behalf of the prosecutor, on the sheriff's office, that is the number one priority, is make sure that these.
Okay, everybody, welcome in. Thank you so much for being here. All right, listen, Patrice, good to see you. I got a solid question for you, and I need you to be honest, okay? Remove your feelings from this. Right now, I need everybody, including myself, to remove your feelings from this. Patrice, again, welcome in, sweetheart. Good to see you. How do you know she's a victim? Remove your feelings from this. How do you know that? Jelly Bean, thank you so much for the hand hearts. Diana said, peace. Good to have you in, Diana. And I think this is very important. Golden Rule, thank you for the hand hearts. Patrice, you said because she was a child when it all started. Hold on, let me pin your comment. Okay. You didn't answer the question. How do you know that she was a victim even when she was a child? How do you know that? Because again, maybe you know something that I don't know. Because no 13-year-old should be able to give consent to be pregnant. Okay, so again, listen, you're correct. Okay, you're correct on that. I agree with you on that. However, how often do 18-year-olds, 17-year-olds, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10-year-old little girls get pregnant? And a lot of the times, guess what? They are out there doing it with guys under the age of 18 and with guys over the age of 18. Now, again, I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that at all. So I don't want anybody to get my words twisted. This happens a lot. So are they really victims? They were just out there being fast. You said only a predator calls a child fast. Are you calling me a predator? Because I did say fast. I have children. Oldest one, 21 years old, which is my daughter. Be careful what you say. No, that's all right. I'm gonna let that one slide. I'm gonna let that one slide. Be careful what you put in my chat. Because all this, the whole chat is being recorded. You said Elizabeth parents needs to come forward and explain the background history since she was 13. You know what? Now I like this comment here. If I haven't seen a more favorable comment from the comment section, this right here is what we need right here. Her parents. And I said that earlier, about 30 minutes ago. Why did her parents okay her to get married at the age of 15 to a 19-year-old grown man? That's why I keep asking, is she really a victim? We don't know. Absolutely, Toki, you said to start with. Absolutely. It's always good to build a solid foundation. So when you put information out on social media, you don't mislead people. Because the moment you say this young boy, he was a victim of SA, or you say this young lady, she was a victim of SA or abuse, and vice versa, guess what? A lot of people are going to start their stories off with what you said, and now you got a bunch of just crazy information be thrown on the around the internet, and people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. You always start with a solid foundation. We need to know about the parents, her parents. Patient number said, I was 15, had a baby because I felt it was love from an 18-year-old. I wasn't a victim. So y'all see that? These are women saying this. I wasn't a victim. I got pregnant under the age of 18. Do we have victims? Yes. Do we don't have victims? That's correct too. No, Butterfly, absolutely not. I was reading up on and I'm glad you put that in the comments. I was reading up on some information, and according to these statements, they made it very clear that no, I take that back. Not her. Her children wasn't sex trafficked. I cannot safely answer make a statement to your claim. Okay. All right, y'all, let's continue.
These kids are taken care of physically, mentally, and emotionally. And part of that, as you heard the prosecutor say, is making sure that they are placed, that custody of these children is removed from the people who did this to them, and that these kids are placed in safe, loving environments where, again, it's going to take a lot of work to address.
So Justice said, I live in the area where this happened. She is a victim. Justice, can you request to come up, and I want you to explain what this victim means? You say you stay in the area. So how do we know she's a victim if nobody ever reported what went on at the house? So just request to come up. Jamie said, man, we all know she won't come up because it's just somebody probably just lying in the chat. If you're going to make a claim, be careful. We got children involved here. Y'all, let's stop making up stuff because we feel a certain type of way. Let's stop doing that. All right?
The emotional harm and some of the issues that are going to result from this. But we need to make sure that those kids are surrounded and loved and supported by people who truly care for them. And we talked to the investigative team this morning, and it appears from the evidence in this case that these kids have been in a position where people they should have been able to trust to take care of them have failed them. Not only failed them, but harmed them. And it's now up to us to stand up for those kids. And you saw that yesterday from the detectives and the agents who went in and removed the kids from this physical location. But now it's on the system. And working with Prosecutor Archer and talking with him through the case, he understands fully that one of the best ways that you can help these kids, one of the best ways that you can address their long-term emotional and mental needs is by holding accountable the people who harm them. And talking to him about the evidence, and talking to him about his plan for the case, I am confident that he's dedicated to seeing that justice is done for these kids and that the community, again, remains safe for everybody. We have offered the help of the Ohio Attorney General's office any way we can. We have our Special Prosecutions Division. I have Jimmy Lowe, who's the Deputy Attorney General for Law Enforcement. He's been down with us all morning. We've offered up prosecutors from our Special Prosecution Division to assist, and I believe we're gonna partner in helping with that case. But our role is one of support and leveraging our resources. I want to thank Governor Mike DeWine. I talked to Governor DeWine a couple times yesterday. I talked to Kara Wendy, who is the director.
Again, people were asking, and again, I'm glad. One thing I enjoy about the chat today is number one is most of y'all are being respectful and y'all are asking questions, right? It's always good to ask questions instead of making false claims, right? because that's one thing this channel is all about: asking questions. You know, I had that question on yesterday, but I kept it in my mind. It's, again, we don't know. I really hope that they do a DNA test on all of these children, because that right there will be very important on how we deal with this. I don't care how you look at this. Is sick. It's disgusting. Is
of the Department of Children and Youth, ensuring that the needs of these kids, the placement of these kids, because as you can imagine, placing 16 kids in a county of this size taxes the resources. I have assurances from the governor and from the Department of Children and Youth, the governor's staff, that they will provide whatever we need, whatever resources we need to support these kids and help protect these kids. The other thing I want to say is this, as the prosecutor said, this is isolated to an intrafamilial event. The citizens of this community don't have to worry about their kids being part of this, or somebody out there in addition to this that may be doing harm to their kids.
I just created a $47 ebook in 3 minutes flat using AI. Time me while I do it again. Already in Designer.
But if anybody out there has information about this family and about these kids, if they call the Ohio Attorney General's office, and we'll have that number here available after this press conference. They call the Ohio Attorney General's office to our tip line. We certainly will get that to BCI, and we will want to talk to you as the investigation moves forward. So with that, I certainly appreciate the good work of everybody involved in this case. And Steve, I think at this point I'm going to turn it over to a few questions.
Attorney General Wilson, I'll start real quick because I think it would be helpful for others to know. You said yesterday that this.
Okay, so now hold on. I want to make sure that
confined in such a small room.
No, not this right here.
Prosecutor William Archer, Benton County.
Hold on now. Okay, here it is. Before we actually get into it. Now,
I've always struggled.
Now, before we move forward, now this right here is the arraignment that happened the other day, and I played this on yesterday, but not the full thing. Not the full thing, but y'all just pay attention. We're going to speed through this one.
Getting them on with one here, but it turns them all on or not. Hang on. There are separate remotes to move them.
Now, yesterday, people were putting out false information about this arraignment. Y'all, please pay attention and take notes. This is going to be very important later on, okay?
But there's only one to turn them on. So I wanted to make sure that it, in fact, turned them all on.
This is sad. This is sad, bro. This is sad, bro. I don't care how you look at it.
Good morning. Am I correct in stating that both of you are named Gary Siders? And you are Mr. Siders the second? You're junior and you're senior? Sir, you're Mr. Siders senior? Yeah. We're here today for an initial hearing in this case. Can you hear me okay? I need you to answer out loud because we're making a record. Sir, I need you to answer out loud as well.
All right. The purpose of today's hearing is to advise you of the charges against you, to advise you of your rights, and to set a bond. Do you understand? All right. Have you been served with copies of the complaints against you? Did you read them? Okay. Do you need me to read it to you again? I think that they've amended that and it's 16 now. Okay. Yes. And I should probably state for the record, now that I knew who they were bringing me, these are case numbers 26 CR 50 and 53. All right. Let's go over those together, all right? As a preliminary matter, are you okay with doing this by Zoom today? Are you okay with doing this through the computer today? All right. So, actually, there are 17 here. I apologize. There are 17 counts on one of these. Each of these counts is a second-degree felony count of endangering children, which is a violation of Ohio Revised Code 2919-22B1 and E2D. Each one of them alleges that on or about June 30th, 2026, that you did abuse a child under the age of 18 years old, and the violation resulted in serious physical harm to that child. Each count contains different initials indicating and birth dates indicating which child to whom it refers. Count 1 is CS, date of birth 5/30/2008. Count 2 is ZS, date of birth 8/17/2009. Count 3 is CS, date of birth 3/13/2011. Count 4 is KS, date of birth 3/28/2012. Count 5 is BS, date of birth 5/8/2013. Count 6 is GS3, date of birth 9/2/2014. Count 7 is LS, date of birth 5/25/2016. Count 8 is VS, date of birth 10/26/2017. Count 9 is JS, date of birth 10/27/2019. Count 10 is ES, date of birth 9/29/2020. Count 11 is NS, date of birth 2/10/22. Count 12, SS, date of birth 2/10/22. Count 13 alleges harm to John Doe, date of birth 1/21/25. That's John Doe A. There's John Doe B, date of birth 1/21/25. Count 15 is simply identified by first name Isaac. No date of birth at this time. Count 16, Isaiah, no date of birth at this time. Count 17, Wade, no date of birth at this time. Those are for you, Mr. Siders Jr., Mr. Siders Sr., those are all the same.
There are difficult.
Yes, that's, I suspected so, but I wanted to ensure. All right. Each of those felonies of the second degree is punishable by 2 to 8 years as a minimum sentence and a maximum sentence of 12 years in prison. A maximum fine of $15,000 and 18 months to 3 years of post-release control. Do you understand all that?
Listen, I'm just letting y'all know, everybody welcome in. If you see the follow button at the top of your screen on TikTok only, if you see the follow button at the top of your screen, please click that follow button.
You have the following rights. You have the right to retain counsel even if you intend to plead guilty. You have the right to a reasonable continuance in the proceedings to secure counsel. You have the right to have counsel assigned without cost to you if you are unable to afford counsel. You have the right to bail if the offense is bailable. We will come back to bail momentarily. You are not required to make a statement at any point in these proceedings, but anything you say can and may be used against you. You have the right to a speedy public jury trial. Do you understand? Also, because these cases have come before this court on a complaint rather than an indictment at this time, you would have the right to a preliminary hearing, and you can discuss that with counsel once counsel is appointed for you. Do you understand? All right. The jail has applications for court-appointed counsel there. You can fill those out and they'll submit them back to the court. You have 4 pleas available to you. A plea of guilty is a complete admission of your guilt. A not guilty plea is a complete denial of your guilt. A no contest plea is not an admission of guilt, but is an admission to the facts that underlie the complaint. If you plead no contest, the state would give me a statement of facts, and it would be up to the court to determine whether or not you were guilty of the charged offenses based on those facts. If the facts were not sufficient, I would find you not guilty. A plea of no contest cannot be used against you in any subsequent civil or criminal case, but you would have a criminal record if you were found guilty pursuant to a plea of no contest. A not guilty by reason of insanity plea must be made in writing. Do you understand those pleas? How do you plead? Yes, I will enter a not guilty plea for you at this time then, and you can confer with counsel. Okay? Mr. Siders, would you like me to enter a not guilty plea for you as well? Until you have the chance to speak with an attorney? I will do that. All right, I need to grab these forms actually. State's position as to bond.
Basically reflecting a $300,000 cash surety bond for each defendant under the court standard terms and conditions, including special conditions that they have no contact with each other as co-defendants, and they have no contact with the victims. And if they are able to somehow post bond, that GPS monitoring at their expense.
Gentlemen, do you have anything to say as to bond?
No, I think we want here.
They ask for a $300,000 cash or surety bond. And that if you are in no contact with your co-defendants or with the alleged victims, and that if you are released on bond, that you be required to wear a GPS monitor. Do you have anything to say as to any of that? All right, I will grant the state's request then. It will be a $300,000 cash or surety bond. In the event, well, first of all, no contact with your co-defendants. Don't be speaking with each other there at the jail. If you are released, no contact with the alleged victims. Don't try to contact them from jail either. And you will be required to wear a GPS monitor at the state's expense. You would also be required to be a law-abiding citizen, keep the court informed of any address or telephone number changes, appear at all hearings, and have DNA and fingerprinting done if you've not done so already. Do you understand? All right. Anything else from the state?
No.
All right. Gentlemen, we'll get you attorneys appointed as soon as possible. Thank you. And we'll be right with you.
All right, listen, everybody do me a favor. TikTok just gave me a violation, and I know why. Listen, a lot of times when the tapping slows down, and also if the live goal is not met, at least within the first hour and a half, it gives the, and this is just something I'm teaching for TikTok only. What it does is it will send, y'all got to understand TikTok is 97% AI, is robotic. And if they are not benefiting on their end, they constantly scan the desktop. So they were able to pick up on the video playing, and now they just restricted the live. So yesterday it didn't happen because y'all was being amazing on yesterday. Jilly Bean, thank you so much. So what I'm going to have to do, y'all, everybody listen to me on TikTok. This is what I need to do. I need to restart the live. Okay. I need y'all to hit that follow button if you haven't hit it yet. I'm gonna just do a quick restart to get rid of this restriction. Okay. If you haven't followed the channel, hit that follow button right now. All right. So listen, y'all, give me maybe 30 seconds tops and let me restart the live. All right. Gotcha. I don't know why they do that. They be doing that crap. The AI picked up on the video. YouTube and Rumble. They picked up on it. I hate when that happens. Again, a lot of times that would happen when the tapping slows down, and also the live gift goal is not completed by a certain time. And I do not like when that happens. All right. None of us do, because it interrupts the platform. So again, everybody, again, welcome. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank y'all for watching the platform. All right. So let's do this. All right, let's do this right here. Let's get rid of that restriction. All right. And let's welcome everybody back in.
Everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Great vibes on 10. Everybody sing it loud. Great. Yeah. The van keeps rolling, got the team all set. Chasing down the facts on the internet. Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the eye. Sweet on the surface, but she call out a lie. Got receipts in the pocket, watch the stories all collide. Must be clean in the middle with the game plan tight. Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great vibes on 10, that's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. For the win, candy cane, aloe vera, butter pecan in the mix. Ronnie Wet,
Danger Bun,
and Lovetta, dropping hits. Great vibes on 10. Yeah, we turning up the room. Scammers get nervous when they hear we're coming soon.
great vibes on 10.
For the win,
That's the slogan we defend. Truth over fiction, and we're riding to the end.
aloe vera cool when the drama gets hot. Smooth like a breeze when the rumors get caught. Everybody panicking, everybody losing track. She brings the conversation right back to the facts. But a pecan steady, never rushing the case. Looking at the details, everybody misplaced. Quiet with the wisdom, always keeping the pace. Then she drops one question and it changes the whole race. Ronnie Wet, riding through the storm with style. Got a sharp intuition and a confident smile. People tell stories, she can listen for a while. Then she finds the missing pieces hidden under every pile. Now Loretta Von Lux. Now Loretta Von Lux. Walking in designer flair. Go mics in her ears and highlights in her hair. Luxury coat swinging while she surveys the scene. Spot a fake story quicker than you ever seen. Tiny little diva, but her instincts are elite. She can sniff out contradictions from a mile down the street. Gucci on the shoulders, confidence on max, while she's quietly collecting every piece of every fact. She don't gotta shout, she don't gotta bark. One look from Loretta and she's already found the mark. When the scammers start sweating and the stories don't match, Loretta's already smiling cause she solved another catch. Lights flat,
Crowd jump,
music hitting hard.
truth hunters.
Fact checkers never dropping guard.
Everybody dancing while we're putting clues together. Searching through the nonsense no matter what the weather.
Danger, 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 danger bun. Hopping through the comments every day. Little bunny energy, but she's leading the way. Hashtag save the bunnies, yeah, you know what she'll say. Then she'll uncover 3 mysteries before the end of the day. Curly ears bouncing, got determination strong. When the trail gets complicated, she keeps moving along. People think it's funny till she proves the rumor wrong. Then the whole room singing to the Danger Bun song. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. Mr. Clee holding center, keeping everything alive. Candy cane and aloe vera, always searching what they'll find. Butter pecan, Ronnie Wet, Danger Bun on the run. Loretta Von Lux in designer shades, making fact, checking fun. Great vibes on 10.
True squad to the end. Searching through the fiction, letting real stories win.
Great vibes on 10.
For the win,
That's the slogan we defend.
truth over fiction, and we're riding to the end.
The van keeps rolling, the music keeps glowing, the truth keeps showing. True squad moving. Mr. Clean, Candy Cane, aloe vera, heart of pecan. Rami Wet, Danger Bun, Loretta Von Lux. Everybody singing loud. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, for the win, for the win. True squad.
Again, y'all, welcome back. Welcome. What the hell is that on my damn face? The hell you threw on my damn face? The community style. What is it? Shout outs to Laura. Thank you so much for the Galaxy. And also Paula, thank you for the community style. Yvonne, thank you for your heart meat. And also Todd, thank you for your heart meat. Queen Momo, thank you so much for your popular votes. All right. So again, y'all remember, while the video is playing, let's make sure we're active, okay? TikTok only, make sure we're active, all right?
Good afternoon. You know why I pulled you over? Not really. I was under the limit. You rolled through a stop sign and... Wait, are you even licensed to drive? Hard to say. Hey, don't... Stop the car! Dispatch, suspect vehicle just took off on foot.
Queen T, thank you for your hand hearts. And Gina, thank you for your hand hearts. Y'all be doing that dog crazy. All right, just to let y'all know what we're looking at now is the arraignment for Yvonne, thank you for your hand hearts. Also, Cheryl, thank you for your roses. Lexi, thank you for your hand hearts. Your heart meats. Nisha, thank you for your heart meats. Now, what we're doing is we're looking at the arraignment for both everybody that was involved, the grandparents and also the husband and wife.
Yes.
Do you not have a copy of them?
Thank you, Cheryl.
I thought that was what they put in here.
It's the original.
What changed?
It's 16 counts, and we identified the kids with their actual dates of birth and removed, so their names weren't listed on there. We used their initials then.
Okay, I'll change it to initials.
You ready to go get it?
We can hear you. We can hear y'all. Cheryl, thank you for your hanging lights. And also, Paula, thank you for your hanging lights. And Pretty Ricky, thank you for your roses. Queen T, thank you for your TGIF. And also, Good Vibes, thank you for your heart meat.
I apologize. The prosecutor went to get a piece of paper or some paperwork from the clerk's office. We will be ready to proceed in just one moment.
Now, just for everybody that's coming in, we had to restart TikTok because we have a live violation for playing the video. Again, what y'all doing right now is going to keep the bots. It's going to keep the TikTok off our asses. So again, y'all just keep tapping the screen, sharing the live out to your stories. All right. Because I'm just catching y'all up on this crazy ass case, y'all. Again, it's so much information here. All right.
Did they put them behind the others?
I think they probably did.
I think that's why I clicked through and found something different.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
they're there.
Afternoon. You know why I pulled you over? Not really. I was under the limit. You rolled through a stop sign and... Wait, are you even licensed to drive? Hard to say. Hey, don't... Stop the car! Dispatch, suspect vehicle just took off on foot. Afternoon. You know why I pulled you over? Not really. I was under the limit. You rolled through a stop sign and... Wait, are you even licensed to drive? Hard to say. Hey, don't... Stop the car! Dispatch, suspect vehicle just took off on foot.
That's a damn shame. Why y'all do that dog like that? It's a damn shame.
It's
All
no
right.
big deal. I knew that they were.
All right, so y'all pay attention to the arraignment with the grandmother and also the wife, because remember, people are saying that she may be alleged victim, but she made it very clear to the authorities, don't put her down as a victim. She made that clear.
Filed. I just wasn't sure which one was the original and which one was the amended. I thought maybe they just took the other one out. All right. We are on the record in the Benton County Court of Common Pleas. These are case numbers 26 CR51 and 26 CR52. Case 5-1 is the State of Ohio versus Christina Siders, and case 5-2 is the State of Ohio versus Elizabeth Siders. Is that the two of you? And ma'am, you on the left, you're Christina, and you're Elizabeth. Is that correct? All right. The purpose of today's hearing is to advise you of your rights and the charges against you and to set a bond. All right. Have you received copies of the complaints against you? I believe that they filed an amended complaint this morning, which may differ slightly from what you received. They have gathered some additional information regarding dates of birth and initials for the children. So that would be the only difference. And also have revised the complaint from 17 counts to 16. Okay. Did you have the opportunity to read that complaint? Okay. I'm going to go over it with you because these are serious allegations, and I think it's important that you understand what we are talking about, all right? These complaints are identical. They each contain 16 counts of endangering children, which is a violation of Revised Code 2919-22B1 and 2919-22E2D. All of those counts are felonies of the second degree. All of those accounts allege that you did in Hamden on or about June 30th, 2026, unlawfully abuse a child under the age of 18, and that violation resulted in serious physical harm to that child, okay? Each count is different in that it identifies a different child by initial and birthday. And so we will go through those quickly and then talk about the rest of what we need to address today, all right? Count 1 refers to CS, date of birth 5/30/2008. Count 2 refers to ZS, date of birth 8/17/2009. Count 3 refers to CS, date of birth 3/13/2011. Count 4 refers to KS, date of birth 3/28/2012. Count 5 refers to BS, date of birth 5/8/2013. Count 6 refers to GS3, date of birth 9/2/2014. Count 7 refers to LS, date of birth 5/25/2016. Count 8, VS, date of birth 10/26/17. Count 9, JS, date of birth 10/27/2019. Count 10, ES, date of birth 9/29/2020. Count 11, NS, date of birth 2/10/22. Count 12, SS, date of birth 2/10/22. Count 13, IS, date of birth 1/21/25. Count 14, IS, date of birth 1/21/25. I assume that those are two separate children that are perhaps twins. Count 15.
Afternoon. You know why I pulled you over? Not really. I was under the limit. You rolled through a stop sign and... Wait, are you even licensed to drive? Hard to say. Hey, don't... Stop! Stop the car! Dispatch! Suspect vehicle just took off on foot.
Thank you, Sister Soul, for that big booty corgi. Amy, thank you for the sparkles over on YouTube. You know, somebody asked, Texas made this statement. 2 of the children had to be lifted, life flighted out because they were almost, now I don't know if they were almost, unalived, but it was pretty severe. I want to know, what was it? What condition they were in that caused them to be, moved that quickly like that, to get looked at in a short amount of time. So I don't think, you said dehydration, one for sure. For sure. I really want to know that. I really do. And VSG, you're right. According to the statement that the Dollar General employee gave on yesterday when we played the video, they will come in there and they will buy sugar and water and vegetable oil. And a few of you all last night educated us on why, what was the purpose of the vegetable oil. And again, I didn't know that. Again, you learn something new every single day. Especially on social media. But again, at the end of the day, it's not easy covering a topic like this. It's not easy. But again, I saw in the comments again, somebody saying that she's a victim. If she's a victim, I need to know what she's a victim of. And we're talking about Elizabeth, the mother here, that had all these children. How do we know that she's a victim? Not what we presume, not what we think. How do we know that she's a victim? All right, so let's be careful with those statements, all right? Because again, she made it clear that she wasn't a victim. She said that. She put that in the report. So if she says she wasn't a victim, why are we saying that she's a victim if she's saying something completely different? Did you hear about the brother of Elizabeth having a warrant for child endangerment, 2 charges? Well, her brother just got out of jail. He served 36 months in prison for endangering children, and that was the felony of the 3rd degree. So he served his time with that charge.
BS, date of birth 1/4/24. Count 16, WS 1/4/24. Felonies of the second degree are punishable by a minimum sentence of 2 to 8 years in prison, a maximum sentence of 12 years, and a $15,000 maximum possible fine. They also carry the possibility of 18 months to 3 years of post-release control. Do you understand the charges against you? I need you to answer out loud because we're keeping a record. All right. Doesn't mean you agree with them. I just need to know that you understand what they are. You have the following rights. You have the right to retain counsel even if you intend to plead guilty. You have the right to a reasonable continuance in these proceedings to secure counsel. You have the right to have counsel assigned without cost to you if you are unable to afford counsel. You have the right to bail if the offense is bailable, and we will discuss bail momentarily. You are not required to make a statement at any point in these proceedings, but anything you say can and may be used against you. You have the right to a speedy public jury trial. Do you understand those rights? All right. The jail has applications for court-appointed counsel. If you wish to fill them out, they will send them back to the court. You have 4 pleas available to you. A guilty plea is a complete admission of your guilt. A not guilty plea is a complete denial of your guilt. A no contest plea is not an admission of guilt, but it is an admission to the facts that underlie the indictment. If you plead no contest, the state would give me a statement of facts, and it would be up to the court to determine whether or not you were guilty based on those facts. If the facts were not sufficient, I would find you not guilty. A plea of no contest cannot be used against you in any subsequent civil or criminal proceeding, but you would have a criminal record if you were convicted under a no contest plea. A plea of not guilty by reason of insanity must be made in writing. Do you understand these pleas? And how do you plead?
Not guilty.
Stop. First of all, I want to remind you of your right to remain silent. This is not the time for you to argue your case. These are serious allegations, and if you are unsure on what to do, I will enter a not guilty plea for you until you can consult with counsel. Okay? I also need to advise you that because these cases came before this court on a complaint, as opposed to through an indictment by the grand jury, you have the right to a preliminary hearing. And that's a matter you can discuss with counsel once they're appointed as well. All right? All right. So I will enter not guilty pleas for both of you at this time until you have the opportunity to discuss this case with counsel. State's position as to bond.
Thank you, Your Honor. May it please the court that this is the state's recommendation that $300,000 should be bond be imposed on each defendant based on the seriousness of the offenses that the court stated terms and conditions, including special conditions that they have no contact with the co-defendants, with each other, and with the victims, and that if they were able to post bond, that they would be subject to GPS.
Could you hear the prosecutor? The state is asking for a $300,000 cash or surety bond, and that if you are able to post bond, that you have no contact. Well, sorry, let me back up. Even if you're not able to post bond, they're asking that you have no contact with your co-defendants. That means each other. I presume the jail will keep you from having contact with the other 2 co-defendants if you remain in jail. No contact with the alleged victims of the offense, and if you are released, that you be fitted with a GPS monitor at state's expense. We also have general conditions of bond if you are released, which include that you be a law-abiding citizen, that you keep the court informed of any address or telephone number changes, that you appear at all court hearings, and that you get DNA and fingerprinting done if you have not already done so. Do you have anything to say as to bond? You can discuss with your attorney. They could file a motion to modify bond and the court will consider that at that time. Okay? All right, is there anything else from anyone? All right, we'll get someone appointed as soon as possible. Thank you. You too. All right.
All right. So what y'all just listened to, what's the that was the arraignment for okay, I want to make sure I get these names correctly. Gary Sider Sr. That's the grandfather. You got Christina, that's his wife. That's the grandmother. Then you have let's see, Gary Siders, which is Elizabeth Russell's husband. So you got husband and wife, and allegedly these are their children. They just had their arraignment on, I think, day before yesterday, and so far we're waiting for more details to come out, how they're going to pursue this matter. Now, it was told to me that, again, that Elizabeth's brother, which is the wife and the mother, that's the girl with the black hair all the way at the top. Her brother was around social media on yesterday, hopping in on people's panels, I guess, telling his side. But, sometimes, when people hear something, they can misquote it. And I don't like to take information from a third party because words and information can get twisted. Another thing, we also had people to come up on the panel and also in the chat to say, "Hey, well, GV, I stay in the area." Okay, we stay in the area. These kids were in these conditions for 4 years. You stay in the area. I mean, there's nothing I can do with that information. Even the young lady that worked at the local Dollar General, she seen something was off. She didn't say nothing. Do y'all know how many households that children are in conditions like this? The sign is there. We just don't say nothing. Because people want to say, hey, I don't get into other people's business. I can understand that to a certain extent. But if you can see evidence and proof of a child being not properly taken care of, it's nothing wrong with, saying anything. Because you never know, just right in that moment, you may have stopped something that could have occurred in the future. But you just mind your own business, and I understand that. Now, with this unfortunate situation here, we got all these kids, 16 children, where 2 were with life-threatening manners, situations that was happening with them. With the alleged mother and father right there under the same roof with the grandparents. No school, didn't go outside. didn't go anywhere. Who knows what was going on inside the home, because we don't know. But we heard the conditions that they were living in according to law enforcement, what they observed. But on the mental side or the physical side, we don't know yet. Because these children, they can't talk. They don't know how to communicate. Even the 18-year-old don't know how to communicate. The people in the neighborhood made it clear that, hey, we didn't even know children was even inside their home. The panel is open. If you got something to say about this, if you have any updated information, because again, I have a lot, but I'm gonna save that for the live stream later on tonight. So the panel is open. Again, we're all the way up, and to the we covered the arraignment with these 4 individuals. Yeah, I'm gonna say that for tonight. The panel is open, y'all.
Great, yeah. The van keeps rolling, got the team all set. Chasing down the facts on the internet. Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the eye. Sweet on the surface, but she call out a lie. Got receipts in the pocket, watch the stories all collide. Must be clean in the middle with the game plan tight. Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great vibes on 10, that's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great vibes on 10. Great vibes on 10. For the win. Candy cane, aloe vera, butter pecan in the mix. Ronnie Wet,
Danger Bun,
and Lovetta, dropping hits. Great vibes on 10. Yeah, we turning up the room. Scammers get nervous when they hear we're coming soon.
great vibes on 10.
For the win.
That's the slogan we defend. Truth over fiction, and we're riding to the end.
Aloe vera cool when the drama gets hot. Smooth like a breeze when the rumors get caught. Everybody panicking, everybody losing track. She brings the conversation right back to the facts. But a pecan steady, never rushing the case. Looking at the details, everybody misplaced. Quiet with the wisdom, always keeping the pace. Then she drops one question and it changes the whole race. Ronnie Wet, riding through the storm with style. Got a sharp intuition and a confident smile. People tell stories, she can listen for a while. Then she finds the missing pieces hidden under every pile. Loretta Von Lux. Loretta Von Lux.
All right, well, all right, so I guess y'all gonna save that for tonight. You said, GB, can you show the Dollar General lady? We'll show that tonight. Because I want to save some more information for tonight. All right. Because again, this, people are starting to be, people are starting to be made aware of this story. And I saw somebody ask this in the comments earlier. How many other House of Hoarder?
Good afternoon. You know why I pulled you over? Not really. I was under the limit. You rolled through a stop sign and... Wait, are you even licensed to drive? Hard to say. Hey, don't... Stop! Stop the car! Dispatch! Suspect vehicle just took off on foot.
Jilly, thank you so much for the big booty corgi. Thank you, Paula. How many other House of Horrors, that's out there? Some of you all know about it, some of you don't. But you think this is going to be the first and last time something on, to this magnitude is going to come out in the opening? No, again, the police was there for a whole totally different reason. And they stumbled upon that bullshit right there. And now look at this, open up a whole different investigation. A rabbit hole that most of us are not ready to go down. Because notice the question I asked earlier, I want to know why the parents handed their daughter over to this 19-year-old man. I just want to know why. How did this start? What happened inside their home for the parents to sign consent for their daughter to get married at the age of 15 to a 19-year-old grown man? Because a lot of times women would just get pregnant and keep having sex looking for attention. It never fails. This young lady is, man, popping out a baby every single year, damn near. You see, I hear she was a rebellious teen and hard to deal with. So they did it, but I don't know, something else is up. Again, it's all about asking questions, all right? Because again, we don't know, not yet, but we will know in the future. Absolutely, the brother had issues, and more so with children. You said they said she threatened to run away, but not let them see the grandchild. So y'all, give me a few hours. I'll be back with new information. Because when I get into this is going to take some time. We got a lot here. So give me a few hours. Let me take care of myself. Let me take care of my children. And y'all just make sure y'all be back. We'll be back around about 7:30 Central. So again, thank y'all so much for being here. You can catch this first part over on YouTube, the replay. And again, in the full replay, not when we had to drop TikTok and restart it back up, because I kept the recording going. All right, so you can catch the replay. We will, as a matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna keep this going. Just make sure y'all come back and prepared and ready. All right, got you, Diana. Make sure y'all come back ready. All right. Again, I'll see y'all later. Thank y'all so much for being here. This your boy Great Vibes on 10 for the doggone win.
Yeah. Hey yo, Great Vibes on 10. True squad in the building. Mr. Clean, Candy Cane, Aloe Vera, Butter Pecan, Ronnie Webb, Danger Bun, and Loretta Von Lux. Everybody, everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Everybody sing it loud. Great Vibes on 10. Everybody sing it loud. Great. Yeah. The van keeps rolling, got the team all set. Chasing down the facts on the internet. Everybody talking, everybody got a claim. But we pull up looking deeper than the fame. Candy cane swinging that candy cane high. Walking through the chaos with a sparkle in the eye. Sweet on the surface, but she call out a lie. Got receipts in the pocket, watch the stories all collide. Must be clean in the middle with the game plan tight. Keeping everybody focused when it turns into a fight. Great Vibes on 10, that's the motto every night. Bringing calm to the madness underneath the spotlight. Great Vibes on 10.
For the win, let the celebration begin.
True squad rolling and we're doing it again.
Hands up high, let the disco ball spin.
Great Vibes on 10. Great Vibes on 10. For the win, Candy Cane, Aloe Vera, Butter Pecan in the mix. Ronnie Webb,
Danger Bun,
and Loretta, dropping hints. Great Vibes on 10. Yeah, we turning up the room. Scammers get nervous when they hear we're coming soon.
Great Vibes on 10.
For the win,
that's the slogan we defend. Truth over fiction and we're riding to the end.
Aloe Vera cool when the drama gets hot. Smooth like a breeze when the rumors get caught. Everybody panicking, everybody losing track. She brings the conversation right back to the facts. Butter Pecan steady, never rushing the case. Looking at the details, everybody misplaced. Quiet with the wisdom, always keeping the pace. Then she drops one question and it changes the whole race. Ronnie Webb riding through the storm with style. Got a sharp intuition and a confident smile. People tell stories, she can listen chasing for a while, then she finds the missing pieces hidden under every pile. Now Loretta Von Lux, now Loretta Von Lux, walking in designer flair, gold hoops in her ears and highlights in her hair, luxury coat swinging while she surveys the scene. Spot a fake story quicker than you ever seen. Tiny little diva, but her instincts are elite. She can sniff out contradictions from a mile down the street. Gucci on the